According to National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, over 1 million young people ranging from 12 to 20 reported binge drinking on 5 or more days over the past month. Over 5 million young people reported binge drinking at least once in the past month, and it was also reported to the National Institute that more adolescents use alcohol rather than cigarettes or marijuana. Underage drinking is a huge leading factor in vehicle accidents, homicides, and fatal alcohol poisoning. Underage drinking can cause children to have accidents and obviously get more hurt than they would driving sober. Today, the average American girl has her first drink at 13, while for a boy it is at 11. Kids are now experimenting with alcohol at earlier ages than ever before. Dawn Finbloom is a leader in my hometown. She is working to make a social change within our community and hopes to stop underage drinking here and everywhere. Dawn and her husband created an organization that helped in creating the Indiana Lifeline law called Make Good Decisions by Indiana Youth Services Association. Dawn Finbloom is the mother of Brett Finbloom, who died at the age of 18 from alcohol poisoning. The Finblooms have lived across the street from me for most of my entire life. Brett was a year older than me in school. Brett was at a party when he drank too much, too fast, and passed out. Underage friends were afraid to call the police in fear of the legal consequences. His friends also did not understand the legal consequences of alcohol and binge drinking. The group waited and waited while they debated before making the 911 call. The Finblooms are leaders within the community that everyone knows, respects, and looks up to. While empowering teenagers with life-saving knowledge, the couple goes to schools, churches, workplaces, and gives speeches about their son and how his life could have been saved if law enforcement would have been called sooner. They spread the message of asking the audience at each presentation to make the Good Decisions three-part pledge of first, I will do my best to make good decisions. Secondly, if a friend needs help, I will make the call. And lastly, if I need help, I give you permission to make the call. They are active leaders within the community, helping to educate teens about the warning signs of alcohol poisoning, binge drinking, and Indiana's Lifeline law, as well as the Make Good Decisions Pact. According to Exploring Leadership, the book defines leadership as a relational and ethical process of people together attempting to accomplish positive change. The term relational leadership is used as a reminder that relationships are the focal point of the leadership process. The 5 components of the relational leadership model are purposeful, inclusive, empowering, ethic, and process-oriented. Purposeful is to be completely committed to a goal or activity while finding a common purpose with others. The approach to leadership through being purposeful is to help build the commitment toward positive purposes that are inclusive of people and diverse points of view while empowering those involved and recognizing that all of these elements are accomplished by being process-oriented. Purposeful is the center of the model and provides the most context. The purpose that Dawn Finbloom has orchestrated within her Make Good Decisions campaign to put a stop to underage drinking as well as educating about the Lifeline law is to include all members of the community and to help engage its members in assisting and educating their peers about the Lifeline law. The purpose includes others, empowers them to use their leadership and talents to make a difference, and is ethical in that it benefits others and improves the quality of life in a community of minors as well as adults. The purpose of this organization is vision-driven and not position-driven. Leaders and members promote the organization's purpose through a shared vision of keeping each other and their community safe through the Lifeline law. Inclusive is the second element of the relationship or relational leadership model. To be inclusive, you must know yourself and others as well as engage yourself in learning new information as you develop the competencies required in your role. As well as being open to differences and valuing other perspectives by having a good attitude, it is also important to practice listening skills, interpersonal skills, and effective civil disclosure skills. Dawn practices being empowering by believing each of these students that she speaks with has something to offer by taking the pledge and being concerned for others' growth and well-being. Empowerment is two-dimensional. There is a sense of your own self that expects to be involved and claim the ownership in the process, as well as have a sense of environmental conditions that promote the involvement of participants. To be empowered is to share the power. Leadership is driven by values and standards, meaning the ethical lines up with expectation of people knowing that you will do the right thing. It is all about the bigger picture in this situation. And finally, to be process-oriented is to accomplish a group's purpose while recruiting an involvement of the group's members and how well they make decisions, as well as handle tasks that involve conflict. The model helps to provide a frame of reference or an approach to leadership in terms and groups as well as in contemporary organizations. This model is not to seek or describe the way that leadership is currently practiced in absolutely all groups or organizations, but it is rather used to inspire a model that will be purposeful in developing and supporting a healthy, ethical, and effective group. The relational leadership model connected all 5 elements to make different parts of my interview with Don Finblum about underage drinking. The Make Good Decisions organization is purposeful because it is in a place in hopes to educate teens about the sometimes fatal risk of underage drinking and the effect that it has on your body and environment, and as well as the people around you. The organization is empowering because it is a shared culture that everyone can relate to. Underage drinking is a growing problem that doesn't seem to have a useful solution yet, so the best thing to do is educate teens about underage drinking and the risks that come along with it. Exploring Leadership states that empowering is to be understanding as well as be concerned for both yourself and others. The definition in itself is exactly what the Indiana Lifeline Law is because it shows underage drinkers that immunity is granted to those who do the right thing in calling law enforcement to the scene where their friend may be helped, and the caller will be exempt from any charges as long as they stay at the scene and cooperate with responders. Dawn Finblum pointed out the ethical standpoint of this law to me when she said it is imperative to care and trust in our community, to take care of each other and do right by each other. We are a team. According to Exploring Leadership, the relational leadership to elements of community defines ethical as caring, trust, and teamwork. Be ethical. To be inclusive is to link with the outside world. Finblum did this by traveling to multiple schools to spread the word and educate different communities about the Lifeline Law and its importance. To be process-oriented is to be mindful and have good internal communication. This was displayed within the interview through her explanation of how they came up with the idea to create the Make Good Decisions Pact. The pact in itself is a good way to communicate to other people that a person is allowing someone else to call for them if they need help and to call if a friend needs help. The relational leadership models also connects with the 7 community building principles. First, being committed, mindful, and unconditionally accepting all tie in with how to be purposeful within your community and the damages that are being made to be the better environment. Being concerned for both yourself and others, be understanding, be ethical, and be peaceful connects with empowering, as well as being ethical, because being concerned for yourself as well as others is also to be understanding of each other within group maintenance and governance within the shared culture, as well as caring and trusting your team. Dawn Finblum explained to me how a leader within my community at Ball State University, and that is how to empower my peers by spreading the words about the Indiana Lifeline Law, as well as requesting a speaking engagement from the head of the school, a department head, or even just one of the professors in my class. During our interview, I became more and more interested in this and definitely decided that I want to do that. I want to make a difference in my community. In conclusion, the Indiana Lifeline Law is important within the community to help prevent fatal underage drinking to take anyone else's life. Thousands of people die each year from underage drinking and have killed other people as well. There are no positive effects on a child's body after underage drinking, and the 188,000 people under the age of 21 that visited the emergency room in just 2011 with alcohol-related injuries is only a growing number if teens don't become more educated through the Make Good Decisions organization as well as the Lifeline Law.